welcome to Live Painting at Noon. I'm Nettie Price, and I create whimsical, vibrant, and fun sparkling art. For more information, please go to my website at nettieprice.com. Today is part 2 of the Toby commission. Toby is a cute little doxy that I was commissioned by Gloria in Richmond, Virginia. And Gloria is opening a new business. It is a doggy daycare, and it's called Toby Town. So if you'd like more information about that, go to Toby Town RVA on Facebook. She has a wide variety of my artwork that's going to hang on the wall, so I'm really excited about that. And I just wanted to thank Gloria for having me do a commission of her beloved Toby. So since the last painting video, I basically just blocked in the black line, the colors, and today I'd like to show you how I really refined those colors, how the black line was refined, and I'm going to work on the eyes and the fur. But it's not going to be finished in this video, but I definitely will show you the finished product as soon as it is varnished and I have all the hanging hardware. If you're interested in a commission of your pet, I do 2 sizes, an 18 by 24 and a 24 by 30. They're a gallery wrap canvas, and it is an original acrylic painting done by me. And it also has sparkles too, which is going to be really cool. So before I flip you over and I'm going to get started painting, if you like this video and you want to see more videos, let me know. Type it in the comment section below. Like this video, like my page, whatever you'd like to do is great. I also have more videos over on YouTube, and I'm also on Instagram. So I am going to flip you over and get myself situated. So hold on. Okay, hang in there. You're going down. And here is Toby. I'm gonna hook you up. And I hope I'm doing this right. Uh-oh. Alright. Let's see here. I hope you're good. I'm gonna pull you up on Facebook. And hello. Let's see here. Alright, it usually takes a couple minutes just to make sure. I think I have the camera right, but I am going to see here where we are. Oh, good. Okay, it's not too bad. I have a very sophisticated method here. If you could see, that would be kind of funny. Alright, so let's get started. What I did here was, if you remember, the line was really thick, and I think he had a little bit too much of a hunchback, so I redid the black line and kind of cut it in. Now you can't even tell that I did more layers, so that's why I love this kind of painting, because it's really, really forgiving. And if you just take a minute, let everything dry, you can go back in and change things, and it works out well. You know, if you paint with other types of media, like watercolor, you can't really fix things in watercolor. And oil paint, it really smells, and it gets messy, and the paints are very, it takes a long time for them to dry. So that's why I really love working in acrylic. So what I did is, I did about 3 or 4 more layers of the color. And if you, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to lift this up a little bit. Like even in the green, when this is varnished and the colors really pop, you'll see a lot of the depth in the painting. So today I'm going to work on his dapples. That was one thing that Gloria really wanted. She gave me a lot of artistic license with this. The only thing that she really said that she wanted was the dapples. And he has like the cutest fur right on his snout and his ears. So I did a little bit of testing with a rounded brush. Now that's going to be really important, is the type of brush that I use. Also, I worked on, I started with his eyes, and what I did was make a line just to kind of outline where his pupils are going to go. I did trace a little bit around the outer edge, And with the black line, it's really important not to make it look like an even, thick black line. To have the variety and the variety in the width of the black line, that's where it makes it works. So I'm tightening it in, tightening it up, and I'm putting more color layers. So the first thing I'm going to do today is I want to put another layer on the heart. I'm going to do more of the purple, and I'm going to talk about the brush stroke that I use to have the colors intermesh. This takes a really light hand, and this is probably my favorite part of the painting other than doing the eyes, because the way colors interact, it just makes the painting come alive, makes it really happy, and it makes me feel good when I do it. So I'm going to show you how I do that as well. Hi Jen, how are you? Good to see you. Alright, so now I'm going to get started. I want to take like a medium paintbrush. This is kind of smaller. And I'm just going to do another layer on the red. So with this type of painting, I did the black first, but it's really important that you do the color and you mix it with white so that it covers over the black line. And I'm going to go in. I want to make this black line really tight. I don't want it to be perfect. However, I don't want it to be too thick. And it's almost like you let the line determine the shape of the object. So in this case, it's a heart. And I did a layer of red and white. Now I'm just going to dip my brush in the red and blend it in a little bit more and see what I can do with what's on the canvas. I very rarely mix my paints on the plate. I usually mix them on the canvas, and that makes it so that there's really cool brush strokes and variations. So I'm going to let that heart go. And now the next thing I want to do is to, let's see here, have my water. I'm going to put my paintbrush in the water. And if you notice my palette, these are all primary colors except for like the magenta and the orange, but it's not, I don't really have a wide variety of colors. I like to mix the colors on the canvas. I'm going to do some purple here, and the way the colors come together, I'm going to take a larger brush with a tip on the point, and I'm going to go into the purple, dip it in with the white. Move this over here because I'm going to use, I don't use a lot of water, but when I want these edges here, if the paint is not thin enough, it doesn't have the kind of brush stroke that I like. So it's really a light stroke, and I want it to go into the purple. And I want it to kind of like a ray of light almost. So I am going to dip a little bit of the water, but not much, like not a lot. I'm going to take this over and kind of really light, like almost to the point where only a few brush hairs are touching the canvas. And then kind of, I want to cut it close to Toby's head, but yet not go over. And then a really light stroke. Now if you can see, I have a different shade of blue, and I'm going to work it in there. I want to let the layers of the colors kind of I don't want to do like a one sheet, one flat sheet of color. I want to work with it and create a lot of depth. And I think that's just the best part of painting, is to see how the paint works together. It's kind of like you're not even trying to control it. You're waiting to see what the paint's going to do. So I'm dipping it in the white, just a touch of water. I'm going to come in here, really light brush strokes, and letting each layer kind of build upon the next. And it's almost like the first layer was a pretty heavy hand. There was a lot of paint, and then each layer after that is just lighter and lighter, to the point where it almost gets to be like air. I don't know, maybe I'm being weird, but it's just the lightness of the stroke. And this is where it's good to have control over what you're doing. Now I have, purple and orange. Those are complementary colors. They're opposite on the color wheel. So it's really important to have this clean, that this layer is dry when I put the purple over top, because I don't want it to become muddy. I want to have it to pop. I want the colors to really contrast on each other. Okay, so I did that corner there. I'm going to let that go. Actually, I'm going to turn the painting around so that I have a better angle. And I'm going to dip some more purple and white. So if you look at the painting, you can see here, I'm going to go in a little bit closer. See if that works. I'm going to go closer. There it is. Zoom it in. Like right in here, there's some white of the canvas that's shining through. So I want to make sure that I get the white, paint the white over the little white crannies. It's a really light brush stroke. I'm using the tip of the brush, and the colors are layered over each other. And then I take it into the yellow. It's like kind of like that. And this is the part that I had to practice the most at, is the hand control to be able to do it. So I'm letting some of the background kind of show through. I want to get on the other side of the orange and the yellow in here. So here it goes. Don't drink too much coffee when you do this, because you will shake. So it's almost like it's like a pivot in my hand to create this kind of brush stroke. So it's a pointed brush, and I try to keep the paint on the end of the brush, and then make sure that it's right there, so that I'm able to really almost like kind of see how it fits. It's definitely an abstraction, meaning I'm just doing what's in my imagination, and it's almost like light. It's funny, I was at Fort Lee Army Base, and a woman came up to my kiosk. I was at the exchange, and she told me that she thought that my paintings, that she had a dream that she saw Jesus in heaven, and this is what heaven looked like. It was like this colorful, and I just was like, wow, that's something right there. So I put a little bit more white in there. And now I'm just going to let that be. Now this doesn't have to be, the finished product. Like I said, I do layers and layers, and I give it time in between each layer. That's the important part, is to step away from it and don't try to finish it in one sitting. When we do the classes, we do more basic painting, but you can always go back into it afterwards if you want to. Okay, now, let's see here. I think I'm going to turn it around. And kind of like it. It is getting there. I'm going to put some more in here. And do some more over here. Okay. Now I also want to do another layer of the green, because right in here you can see that it's just not tight enough. So I'm going to put this paintbrush in and get my other palette. And this is the other green colors. I'm going to take my fat brush with the tip and get some white in there, mix it up a little bit, and then I'm going to be really light in my stroke. And see how there's like some yellow undertones? So I'm going to get some yellow because I want to add more of that. I like the way that looks. A lot of times I'll use colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, because then you get different color combinations. And just doing another layer, and when these two colors come together, I don't want it even, I want it uneven, because that's what makes things interesting, is when they're not perfect. And that's why I like, to make the shape of the dog. It's not anatomically perfect, obviously, but I do that on purpose because it makes it into my own style. And when I first started painting, if you're familiar, I used to be a teacher in alternative ed, and the kids in my classroom, they were a big inspiration, and they weren't, they weren't the perfect ones. They were far from it, which that made them beautiful. Okay. Let's see here. I think I want to do a little bit more yellow. Kind of give it some depth with a different color. A little bit of white. And it's really important that you have a clean brush, you have clean water, and that keeps your colors. Now see how much more vibrant that combination is with the pink and the lime green when I did another layer. I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to cover in a little bit right here, just to make Toby kind of really pop, because you can still see a little bit of the black underneath, which is fine, because in some parts I do want to have the black underneath, like here on his body, which a lot of that will be covered up too, but it does create the undershadow that I wouldn't be able to create any other way. And I'm going to do another in here. With a really light stroke. And maybe I will do a little bit more over here. Just keep going with the color. Okay. And Maybe I'll do a little bit more here because I just want to bump the contrast a little bit more. And there we go. All right, now I am going to do a little, just do the eyes. I'm going to fill them in with black. So I have a really small brush here, and I have some black, and I'm going to just paint this in. Now when you put your hand on the canvas, make sure you don't put too much weight on it, because you'll push through and stretch the canvas, and you'll have a hole there, which is not good. And here we go. Do the other eye. So I did the line with a Sharpie marker. When I go in and do the eyelashes and the whiskers, I'm going to use a Sharpie marker as well. And there we go. Here are his eyes. Now I made his nose a little bit bigger at the bottom, so I want to go over that as well. I made it bigger with the marker just to control the shape a little bit more. So I'm going to do another layer, and that's how it works with this. Everything is layers. It kind of tightens up. So this weekend I'm doing a painting class at the Appalachian RV Resort, which is kind of cool. I've never been asked to come to an RV resort, and I'm going to camp with Sam. I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. All right, now I'm going to start on his dapples. So this is Toby. I'm going to show you pictures. Here's a picture of him. See how he has dapples on his ears in white. He has brown and like a darker black, I think. But I'm going to make him purple and blue. And I want to block out the colors of his fur. So I'm going to put that there so I can kind of see. And I want to get a brush that is flat. I'm going to try this one out. I also have a rounded one here that I might use. And I think it's this. Oh, here it is. This one. Now this one's a little bit different. If you look at these brushes, this one has a square on the tip, and then this one is more rounded. So maybe I'm gonna do this one first, because that's the one I tested out with. Okay, now I want to have. He has the two spots above his eyes, which I'm gonna make that a blue color. And I just want to block those in. So anything brown is going to be blue. So here he has it above his eye and above this eye. And this is just to block everything in. He has some brown along his chin. This might be a little bit too dark. And here and here. So this is just the first layer. It's kind of, I'm just mapping it out. And he has some down here. This is going to be brown. And his part of his leg here. And his paws. So I have a lot of it already mapped out. But now the dapples are kind of back here, and this is just the first layer. So we have like a dapple here. It kind of comes down. has another one back here. And this is just the first layer. And let's see here. This kind of comes back here. There's a dapple there. I think there's one up here. And his ears, they're more spotty. His ears are really kind of spotty. And that's what a dapple is. It's just kind of variations in color. So I want to come around and hi Heidi, how are ya? Glad you could make it. Glad you could be here. I'm working on his dapples. Now I want to do a really almost like an impressionistic brush stroke where the brush strokes are going to create the dapple, and this is definitely going to take layers of blue, layers of purple, and it'll take time to get the layers to work together. So I'm going to build up, it's going to be really cool because he'll have like the colors will kind of make him come alive. So let's see here. Let me go over this dapple. And it's a real short, quick brush stroke, and now I'm alternating to the blue. He also has white dapples. I'm going to come down here. You can really tell the difference when you get to like the third and the fourth layer of the color, because it really starts to take shape. Because the first couple layers are pretty flat, but then after that it kind of really builds on each layer. And that's what I love about it. It is that it can change so much from layer to layer. You know, a lot of times during the classes, people will get discouraged, especially with the black line, because they're so critical of themselves. And I keep telling them, I'm like, you are your worst enemy. Just let it go, follow the directions, and then when they get to the end, they're like, oh my gosh, it came around. I understand, I see. And it's a process, and it takes trust, and it takes, you know, a willingness to kind of let go of what you think it should look like, because it's not finished on the first layer. I'm going to mix a little bit of the purple and the blue together to kind of get more of a variation and get into those little nooks. I did do a touch up with the marker, but I'll do it again. I really like how this is kind of turning out in belly. I'm going to do some more white. Put some blue and purple. So I'm really not mixing it too much, except for on the canvas. I'm going to layer. I'm doing short, quick strokes. Thanks, Heidi. I know I love, Toby's definitely a catalog dog. He's gonna be one of my faves. Because these little dogs are just so cute. They have so much personality. They are like little Napoleons. So I want to make the bridge of his nose. And then do more of the side. Notice how I'm kind of not spending too much time in one area because I want to really kind of develop the whole thing and bring it up together. So I'm cutting around his nose and I'm going to get some white and lighter purple for the top of the nose. Because if you see, he has kind of like a T. Oh my gosh, his fur is coming together so nicely. It's almost like he shimmers with the brush strokes. It's funny though, I can see it way before other people can see it, so maybe you don't think so. Who knows? It's fun. So how it works with the commission is, like I said, I do 2 different sizes, and then I show you progress pictures along the way, which in this case, Gloria got videos, which is kind of cool. I was so happy that she agreed. And then, you know, there's typically a down payment, and then at the end, if you like it, then I ship it. If not, you get a refund. Because I want you to have a painting that you absolutely love. And so that's how it works. Typically, it's via text. So the images that Gloria sent were on the email. They were sent over the email, but a lot of times just the text is good. I can bring it up on my phone. So let's see here. What time is it? 12:32. So when I do this type of brush stroke, I really have to like kind of stand away from it and get a different view. And I definitely want to soften it up a little bit more. And maybe I'll do a white wash, actually a light blue wash to kind of tone everything down and to bring it closer together. You know, bring all of the colors under one, probably a purple blue wash. And then it won't be as contrasting. To see how each brush stroke kind of fits into the next. And just take a little bit of white, a little bit of purple, kind of get in there. Do some more of these on the dapples on the ears. That's I have a wooden hardwood floor, so that's what you hear, my feet. It's a very squeaky house, built in 1928. So I have a really small house, and I have Sam parked out front, and I make everything in my basement, and I paint everything upstairs. And I usually do my computer work in my lounge chair in the living room. But now I'm finishing my back porch after years of wanting to do it, and so I'll have a nice space outside now that it's nice out. So I'm kind of blending in. It's all the same brush stroke, and that's how I'm creating the fur. So then what I'm going to do is finish up the eyes. I'll do another layer of the black. He might have brown eyes. Oh no. I think he does. He has some brown in there. He does have brown eyes. So yes, I'm going to do brown here. And then I'll do the reflections of light. I'm going to do his eyelashes and his whiskers. I'll do his claws. Clean up everything here. I might do some polka dots on the heart and sparkle that. I will clean up the sides of the canvas. I'm going to make that black. Do another layer of the black. And then this is the back of the canvas. I stretched that. I'll put hanging hardware on it. And then I'm going to varnish it with an artist grade sealer so that it's protected and it won't fade. I'll sparkle, I think I said that, sparkle the heart. So stay tuned and check in on Facebook to see the rest of the Toby commission, to see it finished. Toby will be available in my catalog, but first I want Gloria to be so happy with it that she can't stand it. So that's all for today for live painting. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you like this video and you want to see more, let me know. I love to paint live on Facebook. It's really fun because then you get to really know how I create my artwork. I think my next project will be, I'm going to do the wall decals and the wall murals, so I'm going to be working on those, and maybe I'll do some live painting, designing the wall murals, because I'm getting really cool peel and stick fabric that you can put on the wall, and then they'll, you can pull them off and put them someplace else. So I think that's what my next live painting will be. Heidi, you might need a print. I know, he's so cute. Like, he's really, I'm excited to have like a real dappled, the fur and everything. I can just see it. It's just going to take some more layers, and I will show you when he's done. And I don't know if anybody has any questions, put them in the comment section and I will answer them. So make sure that you tune in for my next live painting at noon, and I hope to see you then. So thank you so much for joining me, and take care.